At a family dinner, my parents tried to control my life with a death threat. They didn't expect my response. I should have known something was wrong the moment my mother insisted on using the good plates. Those plates only came out for holidays or confrontations. The dining room smelled like rosemary chicken and tension. My father sat at the head of the table, arms folded, jaw tight. My mother fluttered around pretending everything was normal, like this was just another cozy family dinner instead of an ambush. I was 32 years old, financially independent, owned my own house. Yet the way they looked at me made me feel 16 again. I sat down slowly, smoothing my dress, already bracing myself. "So," my mother said brightly, sitting across from me, "how's work going, sweetheart?" There it was, the fake warmth, the setup. "Fine," I said. "Busy, good busy." My father cleared his throat, loudly. "Good," he said, "because that house of yours didn't pay for itself." And just like that, the knife twisted. I felt my stomach drop, but I kept my face neutral. Years of practice had taught me how to survive these moments. "Yes," I said calmly, "that's how mortgages work." My mother sighed dramatically, placing her fork down like she was about to deliver tragic news. "We've been talking," she said. "Way." That word always meant trouble. My father leaned forward. "You owe us." The room went quiet except for the ticking clock on the wall, the same one that had counted down my childhood punishments. "Owe you," I repeated. "Yes," he said sharply. "We helped you with that down payment. Without us, you wouldn't even have that house." Here it was, the invisible leash they'd been tugging on since the day I signed my mortgage papers. They hadn't given me money. They'd invested in control. "I've already paid back what we agreed on," I said carefully. My mother shook her head. "That was before things changed." "Things changed how?" I asked. My father's eyes flicked toward the hallway, toward the living room, where my sister's kids were currently destroying the sofa. "You know your sister is overwhelmed," my mother said. "3 kids, no help, you live alone, you have space, time." There it was. The real reason for this dinner. "You want me to babysit," I said flatly. My father's mouth tightened. "Not babysit, be a good daughter, a good aunt." I laughed softly. I couldn't help it. "You mean unpaid childcare," I said. My mother frowned. "Don't be dramatic." "I work 50 hours a week," I said. "I didn't choose to have kids." My father's voice hardened. "Then you can repay the rest of the house loan." I froze. "What?" "The remaining balance we feel you owe us," he said. "Either that or you help your family." My heart started pounding. This wasn't about money. This was about obedience. "You're threatening me," I said quietly. "We're giving you options," my mother replied, lips tight. "Options?" Like a cage with 2 doors, both locked. My sister, Emily, finally appeared in the doorway, arms crossed, smug as ever. "I mean," she said, "it wouldn't kill you to help. You're always alone anyway." That hurt more than I expected. I looked around the table, at the faces that were supposed to love me unconditionally. And I realized something terrifying. They didn't see me as a person. They saw me as a resource. A house. A wallet. A free nanny. My father stood. "So what's it going to be?" The room held its breath. I should have argued. Cried. Defended myself. Instead, I smiled. "Okay," I said softly. "I'll take care of it." Relief washed over their faces instantly. My mother reached for my hand. "See, we knew you'd do the right thing." They had no idea what I meant. That night, back in my house, the one they thought they owned, I sat on my bed and opened my laptop. I pulled up bank statements, loan documents, text messages, years of receipts. I remembered every holiday I'd been guilted into missing, every promotion they dismissed, every boundary I'd tried to set and they'd bulldozed. And I made a decision. If they wanted to play power games, I was about to rewrite the rules. I started with the mortgage. Buried deep in the paperwork was a clause my parents had conveniently forgotten. The money they gave me, legally documented as a gift. Not a loan. Not repayable. No conditions. I laughed out loud, the sound echoing through the empty house. Then I called my lawyer friend. Then my bank. Then HR. Because if my family thought dinner was the moment they won, they had no idea what I was about to serve next. I didn't sleep much that night. Not because I was scared, but because for the first time in my life, I felt clear. The fog of guilt my parents had wrapped around me for decades was finally lifting. Once you see manipulation for what it is, you can't unsee it. By morning, I had a plan. And it wasn't cruel. It was clean. The first move, silence. For 2 weeks, I did exactly what my parents expected. Nothing. I answered texts politely. I smiled in the family group chat. I even agreed to talk soon about babysitting schedules. My mother took that as submission. My sister Emily started sending me screenshots of daycares she couldn't afford, with passive-aggressive comments like, "Must be nice to only worry about yourself." I saved everything. Every message, every demand, every assumption that my life was theirs to spend. Because revenge doesn't start with yelling. It starts with documentation. The second move, the paper trail. My lawyer friend confirmed what I already knew. The money my parents gave me for my down payment was legally classified as a gift. No repayment clause, no conditions, no leverage. In fact, my father had insisted on wording it that way years ago, for tax reasons. Irony is beautiful. We drafted a formal letter. Not emotional, not dramatic. Just facts. It stated clearly, I owed them nothing. Any attempt to claim otherwise would be considered harassment. All future communication regarding my finances should go through legal counsel. I mailed it certified. Then I waited. The explosion. My phone rang 3 days later. Dad. I let it go to voicemail. Then Mom. Then Emily. Then about 15 missed calls in an hour. The voicemails were spectacular. My father's voice shook with rage. My mother cried. Emily accused me of tearing the family apart. Not one of them apologized. Not one of them asked how I felt. They were angry because their control had slipped. The babysitting trap. A week later, my mother tried a different approach. She showed up at my house, unannounced, with all 3 of Emily's kids in tow. "We just need you for a few hours," she said, already ushering them toward my living room. I didn't move. "I never agreed to this," I said calmly. My mother's smile faltered. "Don't be selfish." I stepped outside and closed the door behind me. Then I did something that changed everything. I called Child Protective Services. Not to report abuse, but to report abandonment. Because that's exactly what it was. When CPS arrived and asked my mother why she'd left children at a home without consent, she stammered. Emily screamed. My mother cried. The neighbors watched. No charges were filed, but a record was made. And my family finally realized I wasn't bluffing. The final gathering. A month later came Thanksgiving. My parents invited everyone. I almost didn't go. But then I remembered something important. Closure isn't always quiet. Sometimes it's public. So I went. I brought wine. I wore confidence. I let them think I was there to make peace. After dinner, my father stood and tapped his glass. "We're family," he said stiffly, "and families don't turn on each other." That was my cue. I stood. "I agree," I said, "which is why I'd like to clear something up." Every eye turned to me. I calmly explained. The loan was a gift. The legal letter. The attempted coercion. The childcare incident. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't insult anyone. I just told the truth. My sister burst into tears. My mother looked small. My father couldn't meet my eyes. And finally, I said, I'm setting boundaries. Anyone who crosses them will lose access to me, permanently. Silence. Then my uncle spoke. Well, he said slowly, that explains a lot. Others nodded. For the first time in my life, someone believed me. The aftermath. I went low contact. Then no contact. I didn't block them out of anger. I blocked them out of peace. My house became a home again, not a bargaining chip. I stopped apologizing for choosing myself. I stopped shrinking. I stopped explaining. And something unexpected happened. I became lighter. Stronger. Free. The last message. 6 months later, I got a text from my mother. We didn't realize how much we hurt you. I stared at it for a long time. Then I replied. I did, that's why I left. I didn't send anything else. Because the best revenge isn't winning the argument. It's walking away with your life intact. End of story.